so glad to be back and see everybody. I was missing everyone. So we're going to just have a little fun tonight. How's everybody doing? I've been chatting with everybody in the chat over here. So it's been fun to see what people have been doing. Let's see. People are still. Oh, and then Carol Kern. Yes, I do have a video about resticking your mat. If you go to Sew Along with Jan on YouTube and then go into the playlist Brother Scan and Cut, there'll be a video or two, maybe two videos in there that'll talk about that. So then you can restick your mats. Cool. Yeah. Hi, everybody. So I kind of did a quick, I kind of did a quickie class. So I may make a couple mistakes, so I apologize. I did this, I made up what I was going to do last night. So I just decided we needed to have a class. So the everything, thank you for allowing me to have a little time off. Not much is going on with the house yet. I would like to see things move along a little faster, but the new house, my new house, the work started today. So I was very excited to, he went over and started today. So it is going, can you scan a picture into your design center? How do you turn it into an embroidery design? Are you talking about design center in the software or design center in the machine, Donna? The design center in the machine or in the software? Somebody asked that question. Yeah, I know. Everybody says just it's going to sell. I mean, I have a really nice house. I mean, it is a very nice house. And I just have to be patient. Sometimes I'm not very patient. So, but the new house is the machine. Okay. I usually scan things in, or else you can scan it on your computer and bring it in a stick. I like to use like outline designs because it's easier to fill them then in Design Center. So I would probably suggest like a coloring book page, or if it's a solid design, sometimes it's hard to get the outline to be good. So I am not always very patient about things, and I'm one of those kind of people that wants to kind of stay on top of things so that, you know, I'm moving forward all the time instead of, you know, sitting still. So I had a nice chat with my realtor last night. She's a very nice person, and so we have some ideas in place, so that was really nice. So but the new house, I'm anxious to go over in the morning. I didn't get to go tonight because I had to get home in time to teach this class. So I'm going to go over and see. He's got all the carpet, I guess, ripped out of the house. So the carpet was needing to be replaced. So I'm having all new flooring put in and everything. So it's pretty cool. I'll probably do a live over there once I can. Maybe just with my phone, or do a video so you can see the new house. But he's there working this week, so I was really excited. I know it has to be the right person. It does. It has to be the right person, and the right person for this house. This is a beautiful house, and you know, I've lived here a long time. I've lived in this house for 25 years. So it feels really weird to not, you know, possibly not be living here. The new house, I really like it. It's set up a lot like this one, actually. It's a little smaller, but it's still real open and nice. So, all right. So people are getting in here. Let me turn off the banner. Wanted to welcome everybody. Get back to my comments here. All right. So tonight we're just going to have some fun. How big is your sewing room in the new place? It's about 13 feet square. This one's about 17 feet square, but then there's another room at the out of the sewing room that is like a Four Seasons porch that that will be my crafting. So like the stuff that I'm going to show you tonight, that's where that's going to be, and it's like 8 or 9 feet wide by like 28 feet long. So it's like long and skinny. And so I'm going to have my crafting stuff out there. It's a really cool room, and it's got like paneling and stuff. It's really cool. So, oh, this house is 17 feet. This house, my sewing room is 17 feet square, and over there it'll be 13 feet square. It's about 13 feet square roughly. So yeah, I mean, it's a nice size. I'll be good. So yeah, I'm anxious. And then I have that extra room to put my crafting in, so I can have them in separate rooms then. So that'll be nice. So not have to have everything crammed into one room. I kind of have everything crammed into the one room right now. So, all right. So we're going to just have some fun tonight. I'm going to show you about toner foiling. And I don't know if, don't you just love toys? So I started making, when I was living with my father a couple of years ago, I have a friend who made cards, and she introduced me to a lot of this card making stuff. And I've really enjoyed doing this. And one of the things that I picked up on that I really enjoy is called toner foiling. So toner foiling is like with a laminator type machine. Yes, I will have really good internet at my new place. I'll have fiber optic over there. So yes, we should have good internet over there. Let's see, remind you to ask the date in September of 01 when the World Trade, somebody's in here doing weird stuff, so don't pay attention to that. Let me see if I can get rid of that person. There was a weird one in here, so sorry. Sometimes you get these trolls that show up. So let me see if I can get that something about in here. Just a second. I got to find them again. I'll get rid of them. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, first time watching. Hi, everybody. Oh, yes, Denise. Denise has the same, my friend Denise Walker is also on here. Denise has the same friend that got us off on this card making thing. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to talk about this toner foiling. And so you use a laminator type machine. It's actually a special crafting laminator, and I'm going to show it to you here in a minute. And we're going to make some cards. I've been making Christmas cards because I have a friend that my gift to her every year is, I started doing this when I started making cards. I give her cards every, I started making her cards for Christmas. And I really like that because, then she can send out the cards. I'm not a big card sender, but I love to make them. So I've been making her cards for the last couple of years. So we're going to make cards tonight. And that's what I've been working on the last couple of weeks because I've been trying to get her cards ready for Christmas. And we're going to make foiled cards. So I don't know if you can see this very well, but can you see how shiny that is? And these are toner foiled cards. They're very simple. So I will show you how this works. Okay. So here's one. And then here's another one that I made last night. So we're going to make a couple of these tonight. And here's another one. And see how pretty it is? It's got snowflakes on it and it's all shiny and beautiful. Okay. So I think these are really fun. And I just wanted to show you one of my new toys. So I got a new foiling machine. And these cards, here's a couple of other ones that I've made. These are a little different. So here's another one that I made that has different kind of foil in it. And then I put little sentiments inside so that she can just send them out. Okay, so there's another one. And then this one is actually made from the reverse foil. So I'll talk about that in a minute because when you take the foil off, there's a reverse and you don't want to get rid of that because then you can make stuff out of that too. So that's what this is the reverse of one of the things. So I just wanted to show you how this worked. It's really fun. And there's a couple of different machines you can use, but I'll show you the one that I have. And I've got all of this stuff linked in the under the video already that I'm going to be using tonight. So you could go find it if you want to see what it is. So, all right, so let me switch the camera over. And let's make some cards. I just thought it'd be fun to do something different. And I know some of you probably don't make cards, but you might get a kick out of seeing what I do with these. So it is just interesting and different. So, all right, cool. All right, everybody's excited to find something new. All right, so let me change the camera here. So hopefully you can still hear me okay. I left this microphone on because it's a better microphone. So let me just switch over the camera to the front camera. Okay. All right. So this, here's my two cards, and we're going to make these tonight. This is my foiling machine. This is called a Fuse foiling system. And so the other one that a lot of people have is called the Mink. So you might have a Mink. Maybe some of you have those. They've been out for a long time. This one's a Gina K product. You can see Gina K Designs over here, and I've linked this in the description. I really like, oh, somebody likes Gina. And but I really like this machine. I had a Mink also, but I've just gone to using my Fuse now. So I really like this machine a lot. This one's a smaller one. It's only 6 inches, but most card makers don't need to have a real big opening. Mink makes one that's like 12 inches. It's huge. And so I don't do like scrap, but if you do scrapbooking and you need bigger pieces of paper foiled, you can get the big Mink, and it's 12 inches. So, but I like this Gina K Fuse. I've really enjoyed using it, and it's fairly new. I haven't had it very long. So so we're going to make some cards. So let me talk first about some of the things we need to do this. We need, obviously, we need this little, it's kind of like a laminator, but it's for crafting. A laminator, a standard laminator will work. However, you're going to get a little inconsistency with a regular laminator because it doesn't really get hot enough. Because I don't know if you can see, but this machine has several different settings for heat on it. And this gives you more options for the heat. Oh, can you show the machine a little better? I don't know. Can you see it? So this is the top of it. And then can you see the buttons on the top? So this is called the Fuse. And I have a link already in the description below this video. So if you need to find it, it's on Gina K's website. So I already linked it. The other thing we're going to need then is these little plastic, these are called carrier sheets. And we're going to put our foil, and we're going to put our cardstock in here. Okay. And then we also need something called toner sheets, or the other kind that I use is the Gina K has a new kind that she calls Polyglaze. So this has a special coating that's in this like design, and wherever that design is, when I put foil over it, it's going to stick to it when I run it through this machine. Okay. So this is called Polyglaze, and I've got these linked also in the description below. So you can find these on Gina K's website. And then I also have some of these, and these are called toner sheets. And you can see they're printed in black toner. You can also use a printer, like a toner printer to do a laser printer to do this kind of stuff. These are actually the toner sheets, and these are called Foil Mates. And Gina K's older line was these Foil Mates. So these are actually printed with toner. So they're black. Okay. So this is one that we'll do tonight too, so you can see the difference. They both work very well. I like her Polyglaze because, let me pull one of these out so you can see it. I really like her Polyglaze because it's, see, I don't know if you can hardly see it, but see how it's just very light gray. So sometimes if you get some dust or something under your foil that we put on the black, you'll see a black speck in this. This is very light colored, and so you don't see that, because see how light colored the Polyglaze is? They put a little tint in it so you can actually see it, but it's clear actually. So whoops, sorry, I made my camera mad here. So hopefully it'll come back. Sorry, I'll stop moving for a second. My camera gets a little excited when you put things in front of it. So hopefully it'll focus back up again. Sorry about that. And it only does it when I'm doing this kind of stuff because I'm kind of close to it. There we go. It's focusing. There we go. I think it'll be okay. It has an autofocus on it, so sometimes it just doesn't like when I'm doing this kind of stuff. There we go. Okay, I think it'll be okay now. I won't move as fast. So we've got toner sheets. So that's one thing. And I have these linked in the video below, and or the Polyglaze. The second I drop stuff on the floor, or my Polyglaze. The other thing, here's another one that I have. Here's another foil mate. And this is one we're going to do tonight. And this is another foil mate. This one's called Vibrant Vines. And it has this beautiful kind of Christmassy looking vine. I just thought that was really pretty. So we're going to do that one. And then the other one here that I did, this one, that blue card. Second here. This is the negative, so I'll show you that a little bit more, in detail in a minute. But that you can also get these Polyglaze sheets that are just Polyglaze. So it's just the clear stuff on the paper, and then you can use a negative on here, and it'll show white through. So this is really cool that you can use this. And this is another thing from Gina K. And they also make toner ones that are just black, that are just plain black, that you can also use. So that works really well. I've got a bunch of links in the video below to all these kind of supplies, so you can kind of go read about them and see what they are if you've never heard of this before. So, okay, and then of course we need foil. So this is a special kind of foil. And the foil is what they call textile foil or toner foils. Okay, sometimes I'll call them toner foils. They also, ThermoWeb calls them toner transfer foil. They have different kinds. There are two kinds of foil though. This foil is used with a laminator, okay? No, the machine is not very expensive at all. In fact, this machine is probably cheaper than most of the other ones that are similar to it out there. So I thought she did a very good job pricing this machine because it is very reasonable. But like this one is one of Gina's foils that I really like. These are beautiful. And this is called Fancy Foil, used with foil mates to add a shine and sparkle. So this is a toner foil. This is for laminator type foiling. Okay, so this is really a pretty foil. This is that green. And then I also like to buy in the roll, so I get larger quantities, and it's not flat. Like these are on sheets here. But I like to buy these rolls of foil, and these rolls of foil are from a company. This is called Textile Foil, which is the same kind of thing. So they use this with like a heat press. And they have like a special like adhesive stuff that you actually heat press it onto a shirt. So it's called textile foil. So I ordered this from a place called specialty-graphics.com. And they have tons of colors. They come in a 12-inch roll, and I usually have my friend Orlin cut them down for me in half so that I can just use these smaller ones that work well with the they work well for the cards because they're about 6 inches long. So these are really great for that. So I buy these at Specialty Graphics. So I also linked that in the description below. So here's some other ones we're going to use tonight. So we're going to use green, red. Okay, here's the green and red. These are just plain ones. Okay, and then I'm going to use some of these sparkly like sequin. And these are all from Specialty Graphics. So I buy quite a bit. And I might also do one with one of Gina's green ones. I like the green, okay? So I like her green. So we might use this green instead, this pretty green with the sparkles on it, okay? How does he cut? Oh, he cuts it down with his bandsaw. So we put a piece of tape in the middle of it, tape it down, and then he cuts it with a bandsaw. Just cuts them in half for me. I mark them for him, and he just goes right through the saw. So it works really great. So Judy and I buy one roll together, and she takes half and I take half. So it works out really well. Okay, so let me show you how this works. It's really fun and really easy. There are a few tricks that you have to remember when you're doing this. And then if some of you have gotten If some of you have gotten like one of the gifts from me, like when you, and remember to comment, you get entered to win a gift at the end. And guess what the gift's going to be? You get 2 cards. The 2 cards we make in the class is what you're going to get. So make sure you make your comments and you'll get 2 Christmas cards. All right, from me. So that is what the giveaway. So I'm already collecting them. So everybody that's made comments already, you know, you're already getting entered. So, okay. But isn't that pretty? All right. So let's look at these. And it's really fun to do. We're just going to make 2 quick cards tonight. And I wanted to show you how to do it. So we're going to try, let's see, I think I'm going to use this piece with this pretty leafy thing on here. I like this one. Yeah, 2 less cards for you to make. I'm going to use that. And that was a foil mate. These are, some of these from Gina K are older, and you may not be able to find them on her website. Some of them are on the Thermal Web, because Thermal Web makes them for her. And also, if you have local craft stores around your area, you might find them in a craft store, because I've got one in Cedar Rapids that has a lot of these in there. But it's a little hard to find these now because they're a little older. And I bought a bunch of these over the last, you know, couple of years. So, okay. So we're going to use this one. And I'm going to use one of these poly glazes so you can see the difference here. So I'm going to grab one of these out of here. All right. So this is the one that's really hard to see. It's got the snowflakes on it. And then I also have these sentiments. So I wanted to be able to use these sentiments. And this is also one of those foil mates. Okay. And I think I use, let's see, I think this one is going to be in, I'm going to make this red, I think. Because I've got some green ones over here. So I think I'll make this in red. Okay. So we're going to use this. Yes, Scrap Mania is a wonderful scrapbooking card making store in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They have everything. So if you need anything, give them a call. They don't have a real fancy website, but if you give them a call, if you need something, they might have it. They can ship it to you. So they do a lot of stuff. Okay. So these are some of the tricks that you have to remember when you're working with foil. We're going to turn on the foiling machine. So on this machine, there's a couple buttons on the back of it. This one is if you get that little sheet, plastic sheet thing that's stuck, this releases the rollers in here. There's little rollers. This button turns it on. So I'm just going to turn it on first. Okay. And then on this particular machine, I either use 3 or 4 for the temperature. So we're going to be using 3 tonight. So I'm going to hit the green button in the middle until I get up to 3. And it's going to flash red. And then when it's hot enough, it's going to turn green. And it doesn't take very long. And in a second, I'm going to tip this down just a little bit more so you can see my stuff here. So we're going to prepare one of these. Let's do this one first. I'm going to move these over so they don't get in the way. And there's a couple things you're going to need. You know, we had the carrier sheet. We talked about that. I'm going to tip my computer up just a little bit so I could read because I'm standing up. Okay. But this little piece here, we need that. You're going to need a Swiffer cloth. I like to use Swiffer cloths because the worst enemy for foiling is dust. And also, by the way, cat hair. So that's why the cat is not out here tonight. she likes to help with the cat with the foiling. So, and I'm going to take my foil here. And this is that sequin, that silver sequins. I really like that for snowflakes. And I'm just going to roll a little piece off here. Got a little spot up here that doesn't want to roll. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to roll this out a little ways. And you can use a rotary cutter if you want to, but I'm just going to lay it down here. And I'm going to take my scissors and just trim it off. You want to leave a little space all the way around the piece of paper. So, because sometimes the foil kind of shrinks in a little bit when it gets hot. So we're just going to cut this off. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble cutting. There we go. Put this over here. And you also want to keep your foil in something like to keep the dust off of it. So you don't want to have, okay, so see it turned green over here. You put this up so you can see it. So see it's green already right here. Okay. Doesn't take long. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our foil. This is one of the Polyglaze. We're going to take that. I'm going to take my Swiffer duster and I'm going to dust it off to make sure there's no lint or cat hair on it. And I'm also going to dust off my foil. So dust off, and the foil, the pretty side is going to be up. I'm dusting off the back side because we don't want any lint or anything on here. So try to do the best you can with that. The better you dust, the better your stuff turns out. Okay. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it, the right side of the Polyglaze is going to be against the back side of the foil. And then when I turn it over, there's the pretty side. Okay. So the Polyglaze is right there, wrong side of the foil. This is the pretty side. Then we're going to put it into the carrier sheet. And this is, I've got a couple sizes here. We'll use the bigger one in a minute. And I'm going to put that up, and you want to put it up to where the fold is. There's a fold right here. Okay. I kind of smooth it out, and you want to make sure that your paper is completely covered with your foil so you don't have anything sticking out. Okay. And then we're just going to run this through the machine. So you always want to start by putting it in with the folded edge in first, not the open edge, because otherwise it'll grab a hold of that and just rip it apart. So we're going to put this in, and you can feel it grab by the wheels. I always hang on for just a minute till I know that it's going across. And then we're going to let it go through the machine. So we're going to get another one ready here. Let's do this pretty one. This is that pretty viney one. So we're going to do the same thing with that one, but I'm going to use some of the pretty fancy foil for this one. So I'll get a piece. Now this is cut. This is flat. So what I do is these are like 6 by 8 inches, and I cut them in half because 1/2 of it is a really nice size for a card. So I cut them in half when I get them and then put them in these little envelopes, and it helps me store them and keep them clean. So I'm just going to take out one piece. Okay. And put the rest of it back in here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our Swiffer duster, and you can use the Swiffer duster a few times. I'm going to dust this off to make sure there's no lint on it. Also be aware with your crafting tables, make sure you clean your table. Like last night, I cleaned my table off really well, because if you use like embossing powders or glitter or anything like that, you're going to have all that stuff on your table too. So you just got to be careful. I'm going to take this. This is a toner sheet, so it's black. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to lay it down on my foil like that. Okay, and this one's just barely wide enough, but it'll work. Then we'll take that same little carrier here. I'm going to lay it up in there. So it's very important to do the dusty part, because we don't want dust on our foil or on our toner sheets. Okay, then I'm going to feed this through. Here's the folded edge. We're going to feed that through first. I'm just going to lay it in there. I always kind of hang on until I know it's caught and it's going across. And then this one, I think I want red. I've got some green ones here, but I think I'll do red on this one. So this one's a longer piece. What kind of mat do you have on your table? Oh, this is a glass mat that I got at Hobby Lobby. I really like it. And then you can wipe it off and keep it clean. I really like it. It wasn't expensive, maybe $15, something like that. All right, so then we're going to take that one and lay it over there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to use red foil, I think, for this one. And I'm just going to lay this out. Sorry, I have a camera in front of me, so I have to kind of straddle the camera here. So we're going to pull this out until we have a piece that's big enough for this. So this is a longer one. So I have a couple of different sizes of carrier sheets. And then we're going to cut this one off. And like I said, you can, oops, I don't want to cut my sheets there. There we go. And then you want to keep these. And I keep these rolls after I cut them. I cut them and I put them in I keep them in a plastic bag. So I keep about 2 or 3 of them in a plastic bag so that they're not out in the dirt and dust. Because that's real important to make sure everything is clean. All right, and then I'm going to take my Swiffer duster. Make sure, did you see that little piece of cat hair? You know, I've always got cat hair on me, so I'm going to put this over here and then dust this one off. So try to keep everything as clean as possible. And then I'm going to lay this over on top. It's always easier for me to lay it down on it like this. So face down, here's the black part, laying it down on the back side of the foil. Okay. Yes, it is a heat. It's like a tempered glass. Yes. This mat. I really like it, and it works real well for this. And it's easy to keep clean because I can wipe it off. You know, I wiped it off really well with my Norwex cloths last night. Okay, so then we're going to pick this up. So here's this one. Now see, I can see dust on this side too. So we're going to dust this off to make sure there's nothing else in there. Okay, and then here's I got a longer carrier sheet. This one's like a half of a piece of regular paper. And I'm going to lay this in here. So this is a longer piece of paper so that it'll fit in here. So you can, like I get this is actually a carrier sheet for like the big mink, the great big one that's 12 inches wide. And so I get those and I cut them down so that I can put I make 2 out of one. Then I have a nice long carrier sheet. Sometimes you need that. So, okay, so we're going to put this one through. Hopefully I don't have any cat hair in here. You know, if you get cat hair in here, it makes a mess. Okay, so these are not laminator sheets. These are carrier sheets. So these are not laminator sheets like you use in a regular laminator to laminate things. These are what they call carrier sheets. So these do not stick together. So yes, they're reusable. You can use them over and over again. Can I cut on this mat? You can, but it's hard to cut on the glass. I don't think it cuts very well. You can, yes, but I usually don't. Yes, the foil can hang out a little bit. I don't try not to let it hang out too much, but if it does a little bit, it's okay. Just don't let it be like, you know, a whole bunch out because, you know, we've only got a 6-inch opening down here. Now, did you notice that I let things cool? Okay. I let things cool before I'm going to reveal them. So now we're going to look at what we did here. So I'm going to put this one over here. And here's that the one with the green on it. Okay. So what you do is you grab this and you just pull it off and see it's stuck all that beautiful foil onto that black toner. It's like black toner, like from a laser printer, is sort of like pulverized plastic. And so then when you heat it up, it melts and then it sticks to the foil. So then you have this beautiful piece of foil that's like the reverse. And see, I can put this on something and make something out of this too. Let me lay it on a piece of paper so you can see it a little bit better. So see, I can make something out of that too. Isn't that pretty? So you don't have to waste anything because I can use this too with one of those white things that I showed you that are called polyglaze sheets. And they also have black ones, so you could have it would show black through here. But isn't that cool? But then you don't waste anything. You can use these. So keep these. Don't throw them away. I'm just going to lay it up here on my cutting machine for a minute. Let's look at this is a snowflake panel that was out of that polyglaze. I know the reverse is really pretty. Okay, so I'm going to pull this one off. And there's the silver with the sequins. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Boy, is that shimmer. When you use the negative, you have used up your whole foil sheet. I know, because then when you use this, so like this is how I made. So this one here is how I made. I don't know if you can see it. Let me lay it on something so you can see it. Here we go. So see, here's the reverse of that. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so that's how I made this card. So this card here, I put it on a blue background, and that's the negative. Yeah, isn't that pretty? So this I did a different way. So sometime I'll show you another way to use the negatives. This was actually used, believe it or not, we all have this in our sewing room, right? This is made with a piece of regular cardstock, but then I put a piece of heat and bond light on top of that, and then I basically it glued the foil down to the heat and bond, and this worked great. The poly glaze works great as well if you want white, but if you want another color, I use heat and bond. This was done with heat and bond with the blue. Isn't that pretty? So that's the negative. So don't throw these away because these are still useful. All right, so I'll lay this one up here. So see how our sentiments turned out here. So we got white sentiments. So let them cool a little bit before you reveal them, okay? Is the negative when you pull off? Yes. So like what you do is when you stick it down to whatever you're sticking it down to, it's going to all pull off. And then you'll have like this, there's a little piece of plastic here, and it'll actually just be empty. It'll be clear plastic, and then the foil will be adhered to whatever you put it on. So it's pretty awesome. All right, so then this one here is the sentiments. So let's pull this one off. Oh my gosh, isn't that pretty? Look at those. Okay. Now you can also use this as a negative, because see, this would be beautiful to put on a piece of white, and then you can use these on the negative as well. So here's the negatives of those. So I'm going to keep all of these and I'll use these later. And I've got some of the negatives. Let's see. Oh, here's one of the, let's see if I've got some of the negatives. I did a few negatives the other day. So like here's some of the, these are negatives. Like this, these are all negatives. So I like these sentiments because they're so pretty. I got a couple gold ones in here too. Those are really pretty. I just love these to put on, you know, like simple cards. It's so quick to do these little sentiments, and then you can just put them on and you're done. And you got this beautiful card. So, and I'll show you how we're going to cut these out too. Okay, so here's the sentiments. So we've got our panels, 2 panels, and our sentiments. I've got some green sentiments over here too, so we might use a green one on one of them. Okay. And I've got these smaller sentiments too. So this is a negative. This one's a negative. Isn't that pretty? Yep, and that's what we're going to do, Lynn. Lynn's helping me. Lynn's my card maker friend that got me into all of this mess, right, Lynn? Okay, I've been having a lot of fun with it though. So, what do you think of the foiling machine? Think that's pretty cool? Think that's pretty cool because we're done with that part. Now we're going to put our cards together. So isn't that fun to do? I mean, it's not a real expensive item. I think these are on the Gina K site. I think they're $69.99 for the machine, and they're, you know, so you can have a lot of fun with this. And I love to make foiled cards. I've just really gotten into the foiling, and this has been like my favorite thing for making Christmas cards. So, okay. What a wonderful demo. I know, isn't it fun? So this is just something I wanted to show you. I've been wanting to show you this. So I'm going to turn this off now because we won't need this now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off so it'll cool down. And now I'm going to show you a couple of other new toys that you may not have ever seen before. Okay. So we're going to make cards out of these. And you can absolutely, okay, you can absolutely use your scan and cut. Like you could put this on your scan and cut, and you could cut out this panel so it's the size you want it. You can cut these out with the scan and cut. It's a little harder with the scan and cut because of the foil. It wants to glisten a little bit. But I like to use dies. So the reason I like to use dies, and I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but when you use a steel rule die, and I'm going to grab one here so you can see it. Okay, we're going to cut out this one first. Okay, this is a Gina K product too. This is called Master Layouts 1. So what this is kind of like the layers to make cards, and they're all, you can cut them out and everything's the right size, and all you have to do is just run it through the machine, and it's really cool. So this is called Master Layouts 1. And I'm going to use that to cut out this panel, these two panels right here, okay? And what the size is, so you could cut this out on your Scan and Cut. You could just lay it on your mat, and like these panels are going to be right like this. Here's the panels on a little, see how you got a little edging around there of another color? Okay, so there's two dies here. One is the smaller and one is the bigger. So this one here fits inside the other one. You can see that one's just a little bit bigger than the other. Okay. And the Master Layouts 1, the smaller one is 3 3/4 by 5. So I'm going to use that one to cut out the pretty panel that we just foiled. And then I'm going to use the bigger one to cut out a backing panel so that there's just a teeny little 1/8" outline all the way around like this is. So see, here's the one that I did, and here's that little outline. Okay. So that's what I'm going to do. And the bigger one, then this was 3 3/4. This was 3 3/4 by 5. And then she adds about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So this one is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay. Could you scan? Yes, Ellen, that would be the way I would do it, is I would scan in the Scan and Cut like these in the black and white version first and get the designs and then put them over the designs. So yes, I'm actually going to cut these out with a die because there is a die for this, but that is the way I would do it on the Scan and Cut. Scan the black and white version first because the foil doesn't scan. It's a little shiny, so it doesn't scan very well. Okay. All right, so let's cut these out. So I'm going to show you my other little gadget over here. Okay. So give me just a second here. I got to move this over this way. So I have a little trouble with my, I have a tripod tonight because it's hard for me to get this to stick on my table. Roseanne, you probably could do it on the Cricut also by using the Print and Cut. I think it would work, but you'd probably have to use the black and white to do that. So this is my cutting machine. There's a lot of different die cutting machines out there, and this is a Gemini Junior, and I love this little machine. It's an electric machine. You can also get like so a lot of you may already have like a Sizzix Big Shot, and that's another one I have. I actually have a Big Shot too because I've had that for years. I've used it for fabric. But this is the one I really like because it is electric. So we're going to cut them out with this. I want my panel, the pretty panels here, to be in the smaller size. So I got to make sure I get the right die here. But I like, the reason I like this is, I don't know if you can see it on here, but it leaves like a little finished edge all the way around, and it's not as blunt as it is when you cut it out with a cutting machine. And that's why I love dies. So I still use dies for this kind of stuff. I still use dies to cut fabric too. So yeah, there's tons of different cutting machines out there, but this is the one I have. So I have my Magic Mat. This is an awesome thing here. And I have 2 plastic cutting pads. And I'm just going to lay my die down, and you could tape this too. This one I think I won't need to tape because I can kind of get it where I want it. I'm going to lay this other mat down. I'm going to turn my machine on up here. There's a little button right here. Oops, I mean, there's one on the back on this one too. There we go. So now it's on, and then I'm just going to feed this through the machine. This is also a 6-inch machine, so it's great for card makers. It's not a real big machine. So we're going to cut that one out. Okay. And I'm just going to pull this off. And there is my panel. And then on the edge, and I doubt you can see it, but it's got like a little, it's got a little indent on the edge, and it's very smooth on the edge, and it doesn't have that sharp raw edge that you get with a cutting machine. That's why I like dies. So, but the cutting machine absolutely will work, because I have also done it that way before I had my cutting dies and stuff. So there's one of those panels. We're going to do another one here. So we're going to lay this one up here and get it on there the way we want it. Lay this on. I've got two of these plastic things. There's one on either side of the Magic Mat here. I'm going to run that one through. But this is what I've been working on for the last week or so. I needed to get my Christmas cards done for Tammy, so I decided to work on Christmas cards. Thought I'd show you what I was doing. Okay. Yeah, these are great because a lot of these kind of dies, Lynn's saying that they're stacked, and you can make all these different little layers with them. And that's what this is so nice about. So I like that, because then you can do all these pretty little layers, and it gives it a lot of dimension. Okay, so I'm going to lay this over here. And I'm done with that one. I actually have some of the bigger panels already cut. So let's see. I've got a couple over here. Let me see. I've got a red one. I think I'll put a red one on the green. And we'll put a green one. How about a green one on the snowflakes? That look good? Like that. So we'll put these together. And I don't have to cut those. So I already had those cut. I cut some extras last night. Okay. So see how they show just a teeny little bit of, put this down just a little bit, just a little teeny bit of green. And we're going to tape this on in a minute. Okay. So that's what we're going to do with that. So that'll be the top layer. And then we're going to cut these out. So let me get rid of these dies. And that's Master Layouts 1. So like I said, that's also on the Gina K website, and I linked to the Master Layouts. And if you go to her website, and I'll just put this up on the screen, so I don't know if you can see it or not, but it tells the measurements of those dies. There's a Master Layouts 1 and 2. She has a lot of other ones. The green and red paper is just cardstock. I think it's either 60 or 80 weight cardstock. That's what the green and red is. So I already had those cut out, so we wouldn't have to cut everything tonight. But then these have a die. So yes, absolutely, you can do these on your scan and cut. Again, scan them in the black, the black version first, because it'd be easier. So I'm just going to kind of cut these apart so I won't have so big a piece here. So we're just going to kind of cut them apart. And these are cool. So this little die set goes with these sentiments. And it's a Gina K one. Yes, there are different weights of cardstock. Thank you, Lynn. So here's all the little dies that go with these. So like these go with these little sentiments. This is the die for those. And then there's two other ones that are with these pretty, and I think they call that decorative label set. Decorative label set that goes with these. And there's some more labels too. There were some that are just plain, so you could like stamp in the middle of them, that are these same sizes, so they're kind of neat. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut these out. So I need the smaller one for these first. So let me go ahead and tip this down a little bit. And we're just going to, and to do this, you just line it up right around where the red is. And then this one I'm going to need to tape. And I've got this stuff called pixie tape here. It doesn't stick to things even when you press on it. It's kind of a low tack tape. So we're just going to put a piece of tape on there to hold it in place while we run it through here. Magic Mat has a new mat. I'm anxious to get it. It is magnetic, so then I wouldn't have to tape so much. I think that would be great. But I love this Magic Mat because it does work really well. Okay, so then we're going to run this through. How many people have die cutting machines? Some of you guys have them? There's all kinds of different ones. Spellbinders has a cool machine. You know, I've had this machine now for, oh, this one, when did I get this, Lynn? A couple years ago? I really like this one. And the other one that I've got is the Sizzix Big Shot. It's a great machine. That works really good. So then you take this out and then look. See, there's a sentiment with that pretty spells binders. You have Sizzix. Yep. I mean, I like all of my, I've got two. I've still got two. I've got this one and I've got my little hand crank Big Shot. And I like that machine really well. So, all right. So we'll take this off. So let's do another one. We're going to cut these all out here. So we'll do this one. There's another one with the same size here. So I'm just going to lay it down. Oh, and the Intercut, do you have Gina's Intercut? Yeah, Gina has a new cutting machine too. It's called the Intercut. Gina K. I don't have that one. I had a Sizzix machine, so I just use my Sizzix. Sometimes I need that. And then put that on, and we're going to run that one through. I can just kind of see it going, and I grab it in the back here. Just pops right out the back. Okay. You have a Gemini too. Yep. This is the Gemini Junior, so this is the smaller one. I've really liked it. So let's get this one off. And let's do these. Oh, there's a big one now. We'll do the big one. So I got to get the other die. So there's another die here. So lay this here. Here's the bigger die. But I like dies because it has that little cool edge on it. It's just kind of, it isn't quite as blunt as it is when you cut it with a cutting machine. I love my cutting machine. I use it for a lot of stuff, but I also like dies. So I do have a lot of dies. All right, so we're going to put that on there. We're going to run it through. Then I'll show you the little one too here. So I kind of do all the cutting. I get all the cutting done. No, I do not, Connie, because I'll tell you about that. Connie asked if I had trouble with these clear plastic plates warping on my Gemini. I do not, because I do not use the sandwich they call for. I use 2 clear plastic mats. I am not cutting into that. I am cutting into this magic mat. So here's the bigger one. Isn't that pretty? With the red. So I'm actually cutting into this, Connie. I'm cutting into this thing. This can be ironed with a protective cloth over it, and it can be flattened out. I never cut into these, so they don't warp. But I do use a different kind. I use, these are on Amazon. You can get them. They're called Craft First plates. These do not warp. And the other one is a Sizzix plate. The 2 Craft First plates are a little too thick with the magic mat. So I put a magic mat in the middle. I have 1 Craft First plate, and I have 1 Sizzix plate. And that's my sandwich. And then this magic mat, this is the same magic mat. I've been using this the whole time I've had one. And I just, when it gets bumpy, it'll get a little bumpy sometimes after using it. I just take it over to my iron with some steam, and I put a pressing cloth over it, and I iron it. It's great. The reason I put them on at an angle, that was a very good question, Bernadette. I put them on at an angle because when they go through the cutting machine, if they go through straight and it hits the bump like this, sometimes it kind of bounces kind of funny. So if you put it in at an angle, it's a little bit more subtle. It doesn't hit that strong bump there. So I always kind of put them in at an angle. So that's why I'm doing that. So we're going to tape this around the word Merry Christmas here. Oh, I guess I know a piece over here. No, I think I need another piece of tape. Put this over here. Okay. And do the same thing. So you can see I've got it kind of at an angle. Yeah, I always put things at an angle, especially like when I'm doing these big open dies like we did with this one. If you angle it just a little bit this way, it's not going to hit that real straight edge. And because sometimes they get a little testy when they do that. So I always put them in at an angle. I've been die cutting for a long, long time. And you do the same thing. I can't put my fabric dies through this machine. That's why I kept my Sizzix machine. So I have my little Sizzix machine, and I put my fabric dies through that. because it'll take those bigger dies. Okay, so here's Merry Christmas. Your head is spinning. Well, wait till we start putting the cards together. Isn't this fun? I mean, these are fun. This is such a fun little. I love my foiling machine, and like some of you, if you've gotten a gift from me, that remember, make comments, then you get entered to win the gift tonight. But if you've gotten a gift from me, I usually put in a sticker in there, and this is how I made the stickers, the Sew Along with Jan stickers, as I did them. I did them with the foil. That's how I made them. And I actually made those myself because I have a laser printer that I can print my black toner sheets, and then I can make my own things. And I just have a very inexpensive black and white toner printer, laser printer. It was maybe $100. And I've often had one anyway. So there's another one. Happy holidays. Oh, my fabric dyes. I use Go dyes, Connie. I'm sorry, my fabric dyes are all in the other room, so I can't. They're thicker, they're like, these are like the little, what they call wafer thin dyes. And the fabric dyes are the thicker ones. They're about like this. And yes, you can use AccuQuilt dyes through my Sizzix machine with a shim because they're a little thinner, but they're thicker. They have like a foam pad on the top, and then they have dye. They have steel rules in them that cut the fabric. But no, I'm sorry, they're in the other room, all the way in the other end of the house. So I don't have those out here. Okay, so here's all of our sentiments. So look, we got all these pretty sentiments we can use. Got some more over here. Get these out of the way so we won't get them stuck to anything. Yeah, at the end, if I have time, I can run over and get a die. I've got a bunch of them, but they're just all the way at the other end of the house. Okay, so now we can put this away. Oh, I want to show you one more thing. So I already cut these, but I also will link these. I think I linked these. Tailored Expressions is a company here in Iowa that does a lot of beautiful card making items, and they have these things called the Insiders, and you can buy them in the little package like this. They're also to be foiled. You can foil these if you want, but I often just take them and cut them down and use them inside my card. So like here's that card that we made, and see, I have one of those inside here, and I just cut it down and put it on the inside for a sentiment. So I don't have to sit here and do a bunch of work. I can just cut them down and put them in. Okay, so I really like that. And those are called the Insiders. These are Christmas. They have horizontal, and I've already cut up all my vertical ones, so they're already here. So I cut these, and what I did with these, let me get my other die out here just a second. This is the other master layouts I use a lot. And this is called Master Layouts 2. And this one has a different size of layers. And it also, this one's really pretty. It has, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see? It's got little stitches. It makes little stitches around the outside edge. And that's something else that the Scan and Cut doesn't do well. So let me get this. I love these cutouts. Can you see the little stitched edge around there? So that's what I cut this out with. It leaves those little stitches along the edge of the paper. And it's really hard to do that with a Scan and Cut. You can kind of get a similar look to it, but it doesn't look quite the same. Okay, so I really like the dies for this. So this die was, I'll hold this up again. This one's 3.5 by 4 3/4, the small one, this one. And then the little layer that goes underneath is 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. And if you go to Gina K's website, those measurements are all there, so you can see them again. Okay, but if I hold it up, sometimes you can go back and pause the video. So, okay, so I've already cut out my inside pieces here. Just a second, I'm going to lay this down. So this is cut with the smaller one, and then my little layers are cut out of this. And the layer doesn't have the stitching, it's just the top. So then we'll put these together like this because I have a white card base. So the part that we're going to put on the card is white. So I wanted a little pretty little edge on the inside too. Okay. What was the name of the sentiments? This one, oh, these are called the Insiders Christmas, and there was horizontal and vertical, and they've got more now. I just happen to have these. I did link these in the video, in the description below the video, and it's on tailoredexpressions.com. So they have lots and lots of stuff too. So lots of dies, lots of stamps, all kinds of stuff. So, okay. So there are our inside pieces, and I pre-cut those so we wouldn't have to sit there and cut them all. Okay. So let me get rid of this. And we're going to put our card together. Okay, we're going to make a couple cards. We can actually make several. Give me just a second here. I'm going to pick up some stuff so I don't knock it off on the floor. Move this a little closer so I can get moved up here. Okay. All right, so here are my pieces. So here's the inside pieces. We're going to put these inside. Here are my panels, my pretty panels. Those are going to be on the outside. And then we've got our sentiments over here too. And I've got some more to do. So just a second here. I got to reach for my card bases. So well, I took a piece of 8.5 by 11 inch paper, and there's lots of different ways you can make a card base. So you can have it open, you know, on the side like this, like a book. Okay. And these are what they call A2. And that is a half of a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper. So you can cut it 2 ways. You can cut it in half, 5.5 inches, and then fold it in half. And it can either open on the left side like a book, or it can open up on the top and be horizontal. So we could do one of ours that way. Okay. Or you can cut it in half. That sheet of paper, you can cut it in half. The 8.5 inch waist would be 4.25. And those make the coolest top fold cards. I think I got a couple of those in here too. Here we go. So see, this one's cut in half the other way. Yes, these sentiments can be foiled. Yes, Ellen, they can. I didn't happen to foil them, but they can be foiled, yes. Because when you buy them in these little packages, they're actually for foiling. But a lot of people just use them because they're nice sentiments. Do you like my toys? So anyway, so I have some different kinds. I have top fold card bases. These are 100-pound white cardstock. This is a little heavier cardstock for the bases so that, you know, my card's nice and sturdy. 80-pound would probably work okay as well for the card base, but I think these are 100. So it's a little heavier. Okay, so let's see. Now we're going to put this together. So this is how I do these. My favorite tape is still the Gina K tape. It's like a tape runner. I still like hers the best. I'm left-handed, so I struggle with these tape runners because they're totally right-handed. And I have a little trouble with these, but this one is very ambidextrous, so I don't have as much trouble with this one. So this is the Gina K one as well. You can get refills for them, you know, they open up at the bottom, you can get refills. So this one, whoops, second here, I lost a piece. Lost the little rubber tip on the top. Just a minute. I've got another one here, I'll fix it later. But these are nice because then you can refill them. And they're small, I like them because they fit in your hand nice. They're kind of curved. So, all right. So what we're going to do, let's do our panels here. So here's our pretty panel with the snowflakes. I'm just going to go ahead and put tape around the outside edge here. And then I'm going to put a little piece in the middle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is my little base piece I wanted to put on here. And I'm going to get it all lined up. And I want about 1/8 of an inch all the way around. So you have to kind of eyeball it. And it helps to stand up when you're doing this. So I am standing up. And I'm going to whoopsie, I got it crooked. There's a little wriggle room here. I can still get it up. That's why I like Gina's tape, because if you miss, you can still get it up off the other paper. So I'm sorry, I'm just a little off center because I'm standing above the camera here. So there we go. Okay, I'm going to lay that down. And see, then I have that pretty little edge. Okay. I know, I love this. And I have another tape runner that I like. It's also like a dot runner, and it works pretty good. It's in a bigger thing, but this one still works the best for me. I think it's because I'm left-handed. I've just really struggled with tape runners. I've had several, and this still seems to work the best for me. So here's my little green one with the pretty leaves. I'm gonna do the same thing with this one, and we're gonna put this one on a red. Move this out of the way here. Put this one on the red background. And these are very simple. I just made a very simple card. I tried to keep it, you know, very uncomplicated. So here's my red. And I'm going to get this one all lined up here. Should be about just a very, you know, small little edge, about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Okay. Push it down. So there's my pretty one with the leaves. Isn't that green beautiful? I just love that green. That one's called, that's one of Gina's. It's called Glittering Green. And it has like the little sparkles in it. Okay, so now we're ready to put this on our card base. So I'm going to put this one, let's see. So there's a couple different ways to do this. I think this one I want to put red on. Now you could lay it this way, horizontally. And I could either put the medium-sized sentiment on it, or I could put one of these big ones on it, this way, if I wanted it to be like that. I could also put the smaller one on. This one would also work if you wanted to turn it, you know, vertically like this. And then this one would work this way too. And I think the last one I did was like that, wasn't it? Where's my card? Yeah, that's how I did that one, see? Okay. So maybe we'll do, let's see. I've only got one big red. Oh no, I've got two big red ones. Here's another red one. So maybe, so this is the reverse. This is the reverse here. So maybe I'll do this one, and then we see we could put it sideways like this and put it on like this. What do you think of that? And it covers up the whole thing. Or we can do one of the small ones. Which one do you think? You guys get the vote. You like the smaller one or the bigger one? Here's one that says joy. This one's pretty too. Can't remember which one I used on mine. I used Happy Holidays. This one's Joy. Joyful Holidays. Pretty. You like that one? Cindy, yes, you can foil with the scan and cut. That's going to be another class because I'm going to show you how to do that. There's a way to do it. Yes. There used to be an old. You like the small one? Do you like it up and down, or do you want it sideways? So what do you think? You like it that way, or do you like it up and down this way? I like it that way too. I like them both. You like the smaller one? I like Joyful Holiday. Let's do Joyful Holiday. And let's see. Then we need one for the green. So we can do, let's see. I think do I want red on this one too, maybe? This one, let's do a bigger one on this one. Can we turn this one and do it this way? Or we could do, I think we need to do the red on that one, don't you? Up and down, you like the up and down? Okay, we'll do up and down with this one. What do you think about that one for this one? Or do you like the smaller one? Because the smaller one would be pretty too. Oh, here's one of the reverses. You want to see one of the reverses? Here's one of the reverses of those. Like here's the joy, and here's the joy reversed. Aren't those pretty? So this one, maybe the smaller one, because then you can see more of that pretty background. You like that one? So should we do that one sideways like that so that they're different? What do you think? I think that looks nice. Joy reversed. Do you like the joy reversed, or you want this one? Should we do the joy reverse? Here's the reversed one. You like that one? So let's try that one. That looks beautiful. Okay. All right, so then what we're going to do, let's go ahead and put this. So this one I want on a card base that when I open it up like a book, I'm going to turn it so that it'll open this way instead because it's kind of on the side. So let's do that one this way. So I'm going to go ahead, put this over here, keep our joy here. And I'm going to put this one on here. So we're going to go do the same thing. I'm just going to put tape runner around the edge here. So this will be on the front of the card. Oh my gosh, it's so shiny. And get kind of, again, you have to kind of get it, eyeball it. I think either one will be pretty. Yeah, I've done just different ways. It just depends on which sentiments I have, how I do them. All right, so let's do that. And then this one, I want to pop this up. So that's what Lynn was talking about. We're going to call what we call pop this up. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to use some of these little, have you ever seen these little foam squares? I get these at Hobby Lobby. These are nice because they're cut. And I'm just going to put some foam squares on the back of this. Put a few of these on. Like that. Because then it sticks up off the card just a little bit. And it gives a little dimension on the front. So then we'll do that. So we'll lay this on like that. So I have to take all the, there's little, you know, it's like double sticky tape. So we'll take those off. Maybe if I can get them off. Okay. Then this is another one you have to kind of, you know, just kind of eyeball it. I'm going to kind of put it in the center. And with the sticky tape, just so you know, once it's down, it's pretty much down. If you put a little bit of glue on the back, it'll give you a little bit more wiggle room, but I can usually get these on with no problem. Okay, and we're going to put that down. So then there's the front of that card. Okay, so let's do this one. So this one, I think I'm going to do one of the cards that's the long way, that's folded on the top. So we'll do that. So let's get this one over here ready to go on. So we'll do Joyful Holiday on this one. So see, Tammy's going to have all kinds of cards, and I did a bunch of foiled ones for her this year. All right, then we're going to lay this on here, kind of get it lined up. Oops, I got some red lint there. Get it kind of centered on there. Right. And then we'll do the same thing with this. We'll put some of those little foam squares on the back. I can make my own envelopes, yes. I've been using mostly envelopes that I purchased for these just because I had to make so many, but I do love to make envelopes. And I make a lot of envelopes because some of the cards are hard to find envelopes for. So I just have pre-made envelopes. And yes, you can make them to match too if you want to. So yes, absolutely. I love that little envelope maker. I showed you that in another class. Remember we did the little Valentine card? You know, that Valentine card was kind of big and kind of an odd size, and I made an envelope for that, and that works really great, especially if you've got something that the envelope is, you know, the card's an odd size. Okay, so then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do this one up and down. I'll put it, what do you think about right in there? That looks good. Yeah. So there's that one. Okay, so we got our two basic cards done. So now we're going to put the insides in. So let's see. Let me get rid of this. So here's those little pieces we cut out with the other. This was cut out with Master Layouts too. So we're just going to pick a couple. So this one, it says joy. So I don't think I want joyous in there. And this one says joy. So let's pick a different sentiment. Let's see what I got here. Wishing you a warm and Merry Christmas. How about that? So these are I need one that's sideways a second. I think I've got some of those in here too. I cut up a lot of mine. Here we go. Warmest thoughts and best wishes for a wonderful Christmas and a happy new year. So I'll be good with that one. So we'll do that one. And then this one needs an up and down one. So that's why they make these up and down or sideways. So let's see. Wishing you, okay, I don't want the joy, peace and joy. Let's see what else we got here. Let's do the wishing you a warm and Merry Christmas in that one. Okay. So we'll do those. It's nice to have those all cut up because then you're just ready to put them in. So all right, so let's see. We want, this one's red. So let's put a red one on the inside too. The red, the little layer here's red. Yeah, not too puffy. These won't be too bad to mail. These are not very puffy, so they'll be fine to mail. All right, so we're going to put that one in that one. So I'm going to do the same thing and turn it over. And I'm going to put my tape runner here. Okay, whoops. Put this on, get it all lined up. And this one's just a little bit smaller than the front. So just a little bit. That. Okay, and then we're going to put that into this card. So we can turn this one over. Do the same thing. I don't always put a layer on the inside piece, but I do with this one because it's white. It's got a white card base. So I normally don't. These are not very high. I don't buy those real high foam squares, so it's usually okay. Okay, so we're going to put this one on. Just a second. I got a couple little pieces of glue down here. And then we're going to put this on the inside. You could also stamp. You could take your scan and cut and you could draw on the inside of your card. And the other thing you want to do is be very careful that you get it right side up, because, you know, I've done that before, that I put it in upside down. All right, so there's that one. So let's do this one. See, this one has a green, so let's do the green layer so that the two layers are the same. So we'll do this one. Okay. Get this one. Yeah, I love the Gina K tape runner. I keep coming back to this one. I've tried a lot of different ones, and I just keep coming back to this one. It costs a little bit more maybe, but to me it's worth it because I don't have the trouble. I really like this one. Last Christmas she had a really good sale, so I bought a whole bunch of them out of refills, and Judy got me some too, so I have a ton of them. Okay, so this one opens this way. So we're going to open this one up and put this one in. I'm just kind of lining it up, doing an eyeball and trying to keep it as straight as possible. And then see, then there's room down here. She can sign it. And there are our two cards. What do you think? Have nice sentiments inside. Let me grab my envelopes here just a second. And these are A2 cards, so there's no extra, you don't have to do extra postage or anything on these. These are small enough, so they go into this envelope. Okay, and there's our two cards. Aren't those pretty? So these look different than the first ones I made. So like here's one. I did this one with green and red. So I did this one kind of a different color. And this one I did red, and I had red in the middle too. So this one is different. So see, you can still use the same backgrounds and you can make them look totally different from each other. Isn't that pretty? So I really enjoy doing this. This has been really fun. And it was fun for me to show you some of my new toys here. I've enjoyed making cards. It gets me away from the sewing machine for, you know, a little bit, especially at Christmas time. I make Christmas cards almost all year round because I start doing cards for Tammy. I make about 30 of them for her. So I've been making cards, you know, on and off for the last, you know, several months. And so this is another one I made for her. This one's pretty. This one opens up this way too. This is the reverse of the foil here too. And I think this one is too, this Happy Holidays. So that's one of these little small ones that I cut out. So that one was fun. And then this one was a different toner sheet that I used. And this was the reverse, and that I used, but I use the Heat and Bond with this. So sometimes I do with the Heat and Bond if I want a color. So I'll show you sometime. I'll do that sometime for you too, so you can see the Heat and Bond method, because we know we all have that laying around our sewing room, so it's easy to find it. So, all right. So what do you think of the cards? The holes around the white. I think you probably could. They actually make dies that are for stitching, you know, like literally putting thread in it. So they do make dies for that make little perforations so you can actually stitch around them. But this one is the holes are very small. I don't know if you can see it. See this, the holes are really small. But aren't these pretty? They're so much fun. And this is not hard to do. I mean, especially the foiling. I started working at it. The hardest thing for me with the foiling has been you got to get rid of the lint. So be very careful, you know, use your Swiffer cloth, brush everything off, and make sure your table is really clean before you start, because that's what makes the worst, is if you get a bunch of lint and dust in there. So dust is not your friend with foiling. So these look great. These, I don't think I have any lint in these at all, because I really cleaned my table last night. So, okay. So what do you think? Should we do I'm going to switch the camera over here. I know, don't they look classy? And they're very simple. So let me switch my camera over and let's do a drawing. Okay, I can sit down for a second. I'm getting tired of standing. I had to stand up, because it's hard for me to make cards sitting down because I can't see to get them even. So I like to stand up when I'm doing that. How often do you do these classes? Teresa, normally I do 2 a month live like this, and then I do pre-recorded. I apologize. I'm in the process of moving, so I took some time off in the month of October. So this is the first class I've done in October. So normally it's the first and third Wednesday of the month. So in November, we're going to try to go back to our normal schedule, I hope. So we'll see how things go. If I get stuck moving or something, I will let you know, but hopefully we can do the first and the third Wednesday of the month in November, and we'll have 2 classes. We'll do some Christmas. I want to do some more Christmas stuff. So, you know, we're getting on to the time that we want to make Christmas things. So we'll do some Christmas stuff. So, okay. So I will have 2 cards for you. Okay. So there'll be one with the snowflakes and one with the pretty green leaves. Okay. And I'll send these to you. And if I draw your name. So if you are from outside of the United States, I can't mail to you. So if you are in the United States, you can enter to win. Okay. And what you do is you will need to send me your mailing address if I call your name, and you can either do that by personal message on Facebook, or you can email me at janshieldsewing@gmail.com. Okay, so that way I can send your little gift to you. I'll send it out right away. So, all right, so let's go find the, aren't they pretty? I know, I just love foil. It just makes everything, they look so elegant, and yet they're simple. But wouldn't somebody just love to open this out of the envelope and just, you know, it's just like, just glistens. So yeah, so I love these, and these are simple cards, but they're very beautiful. Okay, so let me go ahead and get over here to my tool. So we're going to have our drawing. Just a second here. Is everybody ready? I'm going to hit the draw button, and it's going. Got a lot of people here tonight. Deb Gilmere. Deb Gilmere, you are the winner, Deb. Now, Deb, can you come pick it up at the store? I think you're from close by. Deb Gilmere, you are the winner of the cards. And I think because you should be, are you close by or are you further away? I can't remember. I'll have to tell, if you need me to mail them, I can, but otherwise, if you stop by the store, you can pick them up. So there'll be 2 cards. There'll be one with the snowflakes and one with the green. So Deb Gilmere, you are the winner. Okay. Are you still here, Deb? She was just here. She just mentioned something, so I'm not sure. Cool. Yep. Yes, I'll pick up. Yeah, I thought you were close by that you could pick up. So, because I have several Debs, and I thought this was the Deb from around here. So I will bring them to the store, and you can pick them up there. Okay. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. I hope you had fun. I had so much fun. I miss being with you. So be watching for, I'm going to start working on the December mini quilt, Kimberbell mini quilt. So I should have that done. I'm going to work on that this weekend around the 1st of November. And then I hope to get in to a class. I hope to do the first and the third. It might have to be the second and the fourth, just because I'm not sure if I can get something ready. I have to think of something to do. I want to do Christmas stuff for in November. So yes, everybody give me a thumbs up on YouTube. It really helps me. So with YouTube, if you give me a thumbs up. So okay, so Deb, I'll have your cards at the store for you in Coralville. And thanks everybody, and be watching the group and YouTube for when the next class will be. It'll either be the first and third or the second and fourth. It depends on, I got to come up with some ideas. So, so give me a little bit, and I'll let you know if I get to move. So the work is starting in the new house, and the work has started today in the new house. So I'm anxious to go over there tomorrow. I won't go over tonight, but I'm going to go over tomorrow in the morning and see what he did. He was tearing out all the old carpet and stuff. So I thought that was really cool. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining me tonight, and I will be seeing you very soon. Bye-bye.